And we're live. Good afternoon, people. What's happening, everyone? Good morning, America, and welcome everyone to our live stream. Watch us on your favorite media channel, learn how investments work, win a prize every day, and find out what most Forex brokers don't want you to know. This show is proudly sponsored by our partners at forexcandmarkets.com. Join us every day at European Markets Open and US Markets Open on your favorite media channel. Get the latest news at markets opening. Learn what most Forex brokers don't want you to know and get rewarded for it. Big giveaways, guys, every Tuesday and Wednesday morning. You could win a live trading account, cash prizes, iPads, one-on-one mentoring from reputable industry specialists, and much more. You can find all the links in the description down below. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and support us in delivering more great content. We are only a few minutes ahead of the US markets open. I want to have a quick look at two interesting articles, do a quick chart review, and in the few minutes, guys, we're going to have, for the first time, under a new U.S. president, John Goddard, executive director at Forexy. Now, as I told you, I want to have a look at two interesting articles, but first, let's see what is happening in the markets today. Donald Trump still cannot believe he lost the elections and keeps making charges of elections fraud. The US broke new records for new cases of COVID-19 again. The new Chinese regulation might hit hard the giant Alibaba for Singles Day. US stocks are set to open higher today, and oil prices continue the rally on API data. Good morning, America, and welcome everyone to the US trading session. Let's have a quick look at some interesting articles, guys, and then we're going to ring the bell together for the US markets open, and we're going to welcome John Goddard. So, 5 things to know in the markets today. Very important, guys. Number one on the board, the virus surge continues across U.S. The U.S. broke its records for new cases of COVID-19 and more for hospital admissions as the pandemic continues its seasonal surge. Nearly 62,000 people are now hospitalized with the virus, with COVID-19 patients accounting for over 20% of all hospital beds in the Dakotas, and over 15% in Wisconsin, Montana, Nebraska, and New Mexico. New Jersey also tightened its restrictions on businesses after registering its highest infection numbers since April. Governor Phil Murphy has ordered non-essential businesses to close after 8 p.m. Right, Europe isn't doing any better, guys. In Europe, too, hospital capacity is coming under increasing strain, notably in France. However, lockdown measures implemented 4 weeks ago by Ireland, Belgium, and the Netherlands are showing clear success in bringing down the rate of the new infections. It's not hard, people. Please understand, it's not hard. All we have to do is a joint effort, 1 month, and then hopefully things will go back to normal, as close to normal as they could. Right, number two on the board. I was telling you about Alibaba might take a big hit this year. China's tech giants continue to suffer after the introduction of new antitrust regulations by Beijing that could restrict their activities in a number of ways. China's State Administration for Market Regulation started the consultation process yesterday on new regulations that convened a broad range of online commercial practices, notably in the way they offer different prices for the same product to different buyers. Very well done. I like that. Tencent Holdings Hong Kong shares have fallen 11% since the regulations were published, while Alibaba fell over 8% yesterday and are marked down another 2% in today's pre-market trade. The regulations have overshadowed the predictable record-breaking numbers from Alibaba's annual Singles Day marketing event, which generated over $56 billion in sales in the first couple of hours. I don't know if you guys remember or if you guys know what this Singles Day is. Basically, once a year around this time, Asia is celebrating Singles Day, where single people literally go out and they spend money buying whatever they want to please them, as a reward because they're single. Sometimes it can be a reward. I know many people that can back me up on this one. So this is Singles Day. Now, every year, where do they spend their money? Obviously, local malls and shops, but online, guys, online. And the big retailers, the big online retailers, knowing that, they bomb everyone with adverts, very aggressive advertising to try and persuade people to purchase a present with a discount, supposedly. But as this article says, some people are more equal than others. Yes, some people are getting better prices than other people, and this is wrong. And that's why we have a new potential regulation in the Asian region regarding this matter. Very interesting. We are 2 minutes away from the markets open, guys. We're gonna see what's happening on the screen in just a second. Number 3 on the board, the American stock set to higher opening today, and tech giants regain its footing. U.S. stock markets are marked to open higher today, with U.S. tech names finally recovering after 2 days of severe underperformance in the wake of Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine announcement on Monday. By 6:30 a.m. Eastern Time, Dow Jones futures were up 227 points, or 0.8%. S&P 500 futures were up 0.9%, and the Nasdaq futures were up 1.1%. Very, very good performance. Apple stock was indicated 1.2% higher on the day when it launches its new generation of MacBooks powered by chips that have been developed in-house. The positive mood is being supported by comments from San Francisco Fed President Mary Daly, who said late on Tuesday that the Fed is in intense discussions about its various asset purchase programs. That had stroked speculation that the Fed will step in to provide some support for the markets while the lame duck Congress stumbles towards the end of its session. Right, number 5 on the board, China cracks down on Hong Kong amid the U.S. policy vacuum. The foreign policy challenges for the new Biden administration are stacking up. Hong Kong's pro-democracy lawmakers resigned in mass after 4 of its members were ousted under new laws allowing them to be replaced without a court process. The U.S. response to evidence of further crackdowns on Hong Kong is likely to be hamstrung by the refusal of the current Trump administration to prepare for the handover of power. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said yesterday that he expects a smooth transition of power to a second term. Let's see if that's the case. I was telling you about 2 interesting articles, guys. I have another article which I'm going to disclose with you after we have the interview with John Goddard. Very, very funny, very interesting. Let's see what's going to happen. Number 5 on the board, guys. We're exactly 2 minutes away from the U.S. markets opening. Crude oil surges on API data. OPEC monthly report due. OPEC had its currently monthly report today at 1 o'clock GMT plus 2. Crude oil prices extended their dramatic rally overnight in the wake of data showing a much bigger than expected drop in U.S. inventories for the second week running. By 6:35 a.m. Eastern Time, U.S. crude futures were up 3.1% at $42.62 a barrel, while Brent futures were up 2.9% at $44.88 a barrel. If I'm not mistaken, on investing.com's charts, guys, they actually broke the $45 level. We're going to have a look at the charts and see how the markets open, and most importantly, where are they heading to for today. The American Petroleum Institute said yesterday that crude stocks fell by 5.15 million barrels last week, much more than the 900,000 expected. The API numbers, along with hopes for 2021 demand outlook in the wake of Pfizer vaccine news, have overshadowed the Energy Information Administration downward revision to its forecast on Tuesday. We are 15 seconds away from the U.S. markets open, guys. We're going to ring the bell together, and then we're going to call John Goddard straight away. And then we're going to have a look at the charts and see how the markets reacted today. 5 seconds away from the U.S. opening, guys. And 4, 3, 2, 1, and there we go. It's official. Welcome, everyone, to the U.S. markets open. Big, big welcome, people. Now, as I promised you, we're going to have John Goddard in a minute. Okay, let's let's call John Goddard now. And we're coming back live in 30 seconds with John Goddard. All right, guys, and we're back with John Goddard, Executive Director at Forexy for the first time under a new U.S. president. John, good afternoon, John. How are you? Can you hear us, John?
I can, Andrew. How you doing?
How are you, John? Live with John Goddard, people. I'm good. I'm
Good.
good.
Sorry
I'm
about
keeping
that.
an eye on the markets. No
Few
problem.
technical issues.
No problem. This happens when you're broadcasting live. How are you, John? How are things?
Marvelous. Good. Good. Busy.
Awesome. Yeah, I saw the most recent changes, by the way, you made on your website. Looks amazing. Really, really well done. Well done, John.
Yeah, we're pretty pleased. I mean, the benefits of that in terms of we react to the clients quite quickly. Can we get this? Can we have that? We want to see more information on this. So that's what we do. We're always, quite reactive on the website.
How is the new campaign going, John? I know you've launched stock trading on your MT5 platform, and just before the elections, you guys advertised one risk-free trade. How did that go for you? How did the public react to that?
It went very well, actually. It assisted with people in with the clients to continue on their trading. They were keeping their margins topped up, so it was very good. So much that we've decided to extend the promotion into more of a monthly and quarterly against major events that are occurring. Payroll, retail price index, European Commission quarterlies. So anything that's got a major event tied around it, we've now decided to roll that out to all
the
events.
new month. Well done. Well done. Now, let's get serious. Elections are over. Joe Biden is the new U.S. president. How did you see the presidential race this year? Supposedly, yes.
I was going to say, have we seen an official announcement yet?
Yes, it was announced. Everyone keeps calling Joe Biden. Everyone is congratulating Joe Biden, apart from one person. Guess who that person is?
I wonder. Actually, the person I thought was going to win was my backer. That's who I thought was. That's who I thought was the favourite for the race.
Really?
Right until the.
Oh my God! All right. How did you take this? How did you react to this?
Perfectly fine. I mean, it's like anything balanced in your investments and your portfolios, and you're looking at all areas that could happen. You're balancing it out with certain currencies or certain commodities or certain equities, and you're just keeping a balanced approach to everything.
I'm with you. How did you see the presidential race this year? Was anything different this year than 4 years ago when Donald Trump won against Hillary Clinton?
Well, yes. I mean, obviously the possible voting rigging was a bit of a major thing compared to last time, but I believe it's interesting how the tides have changed, because you look at Trump coming in at the last minute with 2 or 3 days behind, and him rolling in and getting that victory on the back of the last minute votes last time. And now we're like, well, actually, that's role reversal, and Biden's done exactly the same, and now he's complaining.
What do you think brought Donald Trump to eventually lose the elections after such a tight race? The foreign agencies?
I think his stance on the stimulus package for the country, in terms of we're not going to do anything with anybody else around the world. It's all about us. We're not interested in getting into any trade agreements. It's, you will buy from us because we are the best. But obviously there's a lot going on around the rest of the world and countries at the moment, seeing that they need to start getting some better ties together.
You're right, but you see, I'm one of the people that appreciated the efforts of Donald Trump of raising the economy again and bringing more people and more money in the country.
Yeah, Make Us Great Again campaign was pretty much his whole picture. And to be fair to him, he had done that over the 4 years that he in. You look at the employment numbers are down. You look at the growth, the the Dows, and the indices are up. So you can't lie. He has improved things.
But in public speaking and maintaining ties with other countries and other heads of state, oof.
Awful. No, terrible. He definitely needs to go to some after-school training.
Who was your favorite in the race?
As I said, Trump for me, in terms of all of his policies and everything that he was trying to achieve, was definitely for me, because I'd seen the growth in the last 4 years, and for me, if he was going to continue that, and what can you do in 4 years? You look at most presidential campaigns, the UK, you look at Germany, you look at Europe, you look at everywhere. You usually need at least 8 years to sort of see that through on your policies. And what's interesting is how in the US it's easy for them to just reverse. If they've got the right Senate, they can literally just reverse those decisions of 4 years like that.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. Now, we saw, here's the trick, under Joe Biden. We saw that the tech sector is a bit scared by the new US president, as Joe Biden was irritated during the campaign at Facebook in particular, taking issue with the company's decision not to fast check political adverts. On top of that, he disagreed with how friendly the Obama administration was with the tech giants in Silicon Valley. How do you see it? Do they have serious reasons to be scared?
I mean, Facebook has been hounded for the last 2 years now in terms of its data and the way that it's running. And you look at the Senate committees that they have. Facebook is going to do what it does, and all the tech companies are going to be doing what they do. They're just going to be under more scrutiny. You can't. I mean, how do you legislate technology? I mean, so that's not going to happen. And I mean, if you look at the growth in technology right now the top five. I think the top five tech companies in the US added something like 34 billion to their value.
True, and some of them actually
growth.
helped Joe Biden with his campaign.
It's helped or it hasn't helped. All. I mean, I can say from our point of view, from a advertising or marketing point of view, we see a stronger AI and technology used within the business to make sure the relevant legislation has been covered, that the adverts are necessarily correct. So I would argue that they are doing a lot more fact checking now. I mean, you see a lot of posts from the flat earthers or conspiracy theorists are getting taken down because they're not factually checked. So I would imagine the same is happening with political statements as well, and campaigns, or the hate against particular campaigns. So I think Facebook's doing a pretty good job in managing it, and it's a beast as well. So there are going to be times when stuff does slip through the net.
Yeah, Google as well. Now, you know why I'm asking you this? Shortly after his election, Joe Biden posted on his website 4 priority areas: COVID-19, economic recovery, racial equity, and climate change.
Climate change.
Yeah, technology was mentioned briefly, but with a focus on expanding broadband internet rather than regulation of big tech companies. So it seems like the regulation on the tech sector still has a long way to go.
And this is it. I mean, you can legislate, markets and investments and certain areas, but I mean, how do you tell a company that when they've got the buy-in from customers that they can't do something? I mean, the tech companies are always going to find a way.
Exactly. That's why
I don't think it will ever get legislated.
Luckily, they have an ally. The new vice president, Kamala Harris, has long-standing ties with Silicon Valley since she was a district attorney in San Francisco, if I remember correctly. Yeah. And some tech giants also supported Biden financially during his campaign. So we shall see. So far, Kamala Harris is the only ally that the tech companies have. Now,
yeah, but I mean, that's where all these relationships have been made. These campaigns rely on money, and those tech companies are not going to allow. I mean, they're adding billions to the economy. They're not going to allow an election, to shave off money off of their revenues. They've got shareholders to report to. So it's all about the money that they're spending to promote for themselves and for that candidate.
And if anything, they're going to move to China. And again, that's not a good thing, because Donald Trump spent 4 years to try and bring the companies back, or some companies back.
Yeah, of course.
Right. Now, let's get closer to Europe, because I know this is your area of expertise. Great news came from Pfizer and BioNTech regarding the COVID-19 vaccine, and the market's hyped up in hours.
Flight companies, BA shares, I mean, the whole cruise industry, anything that was hotel, anything that was travel related, I think in the last 4 days has jumped by 15 to 20%.
But there's one thing that got my attention and wiped out a lot of traders. What was with that huge swing on gold a couple of days ago when gold futures shed over $50 in a matter of hours? I have never seen something like this in my 10 years in the market.
And it's gone more than that. I mean, we saw a swing. I mean, we saw this gradual climb, because I think everyone's always wary at that time. Coming up to the elections, what's the results going to be? They're looking, as we said in the last interview, where everyone's looking to bet on something or put something into it, not bet, but put in something a little bit more sturdy and safe. But that dropped. We're down $100 already. I mean, nearly 5% in 2 days.
Yeah, even more than that. More than that.
Yeah, more than the 50 now.
within
It's down
only a few
$100
hours.
from
Man.
the 1960 down to 1855. So, is it a steady? I mean, we saw a massive increase in stocks and shares purchasing. And in particular, like you say, pharmaceuticals, the vaccines, and also tech. Those two areas are the biggest area we saw actually move away from currency. And when we look at the analytics, there was more people actually on the stocks and shares than there were on currency.
I've never seen something like this in gold in 10 years. Now, since we're talking about safe haven assets, what's your take on Bitcoin, the absolute champion, the heavyweight champion of the world that gained over $2,000 in less than a week? Has Bitcoin became a safe haven asset?
My personal view, no. Anything that's unregulated is never going to be a safe haven asset. But in terms of an investment opportunity, yes, it's definitely worth putting some money behind it. It's certainly not gone away. Everybody said it was going to disappear. It was being legislated, and it hasn't. It's been around. You'll tell me now. You're probably
since
about 12 years now, 16 years,
since
12 years. Oh God. Okay, so yeah, even more so. So it's still here. It's still here to stay. It's a market there that you can put some money into. I mean, funny enough, we've seen a lot more interest in the Bitcoin, also in those type of currencies. So we're just as adapting. We're just launching our platform pretty soon, within the next couple of weeks, to allow currency trading on those types of products.
Sweet. Do you own any Bitcoin?
Should be live in the next couple of weeks.
Do you own any cryptocurrencies?
I don't.
You don't? Okay. I wanted to ask you, how big was the smile on your face when you saw Bitcoin going through the roof?
It wasn't a smile. It was more of a, I should have done that.
No problem. We can get together over a pint anytime you want, and we can talk about a portfolio of cryptos.
A lot of people are talking about it going above the 20,000 again. So if you're putting some funds in there, make sure you're trading it. Make sure you're using a platform like ours that allow you to be able to trade safely with a relevant stop losses and being able to move.
Word of advice for crypto enthusiasts: if you're planning to buy, to purchase, or to go long on it, make sure you go long or you purchase it after the tiny pullback.
Yes. Is it pulling back at the moment?
I'm going to have a look at the charts in a minute. No, actually, it was pushing even higher. Bitcoin gained $200 today since the European markets opening.
Yeah, it's an opportunity.
Yes, it definitely is. Now, 2020 is almost over. The problems are far from over. More European countries are tightening the measures due to COVID-19 virus. Brexit is still pushing hard, and the latest news coming from UK is that UK and EU are likely to miss their mid-November deadline to clinch a post-Brexit trade, because talks in London to break a deadlock are expected to run through the end of this week. Sources on both sides told Reuters this morning. Is it possible to see a no deal?
Yeah.
Is it possible to see a no deal again?
Yep. Sorry, can you ask the question?
I didn't hear. Is it possible to see a no deal towards the end of the year? A no Brexit deal?
I mean, 99.5% for me is it's a no deal. You're looking at what they're talking about at the moment seems to be the stumbling blocks. And the Good Friday Agreement is certainly in there in terms of one of the problem stumbling blocks. And I think the UK, I mean, it's interesting looking, as we discussed last time, the UK's import-export. I mean, it's about 700 billion and about 600 billion import-export. But as I said, it's only about 80% for Europe. I lost a lot of export. But then you look at the amount of import is quite a lot from Europe. So I can't see them being bothered about it. As you see, Japan's making a deal at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. There's something going on.
I don't think they're bothered. I think the issue there then will be coming to, what are the currencies, what's happening in, is Euro or GB going to be stronger? And for me, I see GB weakening quite a bit after. I mean, it's been pretty stagnant for the last two years, as we mentioned last time. There's no major volatility other than daily volatility. But if you look back 4 years, it's about where it was. So, but I do think that the pound will weaken in the in between period at January, Christmas time, and that will be. I mean, you look at the UK as its export markets. I mean, majority of it is actually to the US and China. Not much into Europe. So
no, they're importing stuff.
I think
from Europe.
they are importing a lot of stuff, and 80% of what they're importing is coming from Europe.
Yeah.
That now, 600 billion, something like 400 billion is coming from the European countries. You take 150 billion out for China and the US. So it'll be interesting to see how they manage that and where they get their goods from.
Considering how bad this year was for the entire world, I was hoping for UK to be more, I don't know, cautious, let's say, and try to get a deal that will help them recover faster after leaving the European bloc, considering COVID and everything. But they seem to be doing everything against it.
Well, are they? I mean, me personally, I'm pro being out of the UK, being out. Finding their own feet, making their own deals, having more resources to go out and do that. So I think there will be a downturn for the first 2 to 3 years, but I think they will come out of it stronger.
They will.
Absolutely stronger.
No doubt about it. UK has the power to recover. Right. Let's hope things will rather settle sooner than later, and let's hope we will have a good 2021 at least, or half of it. It's
got to be better than 2020 for sure.
Oh, I think any year is better than 2020, apart from I don't know, First and Second World Wars. Now, what do you think traders should keep an eye on this year end, John? Because it's very difficult to speak midterm, long term in the last few months or this year. What do you think traders should keep an eye on for this year end?
There's a massive move at the moment. I mean, we still look at the volume that's been driven within the FX currency world. So, I mean, it's increasing. You know, recently I was just reading that, you look at hedge funds around the world now, they've had a move from like 9% of their holdings in currency to now being about 14%. So this is increasing. You start to look at funds that are holding currency. There's still this massive market for short-term growth. But maybe look at some of the stocks. Look at the stocks and shares. That's happening a lot now. People's knowledge, the information that's available on companies is a lot better. And as I said, we've got the signals. We're providing signals now for currency and stocks and trades, and we're probably getting about 50-50 in terms of the amount of signals for FX and 50% for the stocks and shares.
Or the other assets.
So it's certainly this year I think will be a big move to the individuals, doing their own stock trading. So that's something to look out for. But tech firms, I think, massively going to do well this next year. They're the only area that's really done well this year, and they're still out for growth. You look at all the artificial intelligence that's coming through now, and that area, all funds under the tech. So pretty much follow tech for another year.
I understand. Until things settle a bit. Yeah, hopefully we're going to see the new vaccine released, I don't know, hopefully in January or February, and then things will start calming down a bit.
Again, I think that happens. A lot of doors will then open up. Traveling will start again. Holidays will start. I mean, everything will start up again, and the whole morale of countries will be, a lot better. So there'll be a lot more optimism. People will be more into making investment decisions, doing trading, back to education. So I think as soon as we get that out of the way and that vaccine comes, vaccine is going to be a massive part of how everyone's sentiment is in the next couple of months.
True.
And who gets it out first.
Exactly.
Where pharmaceuticals is definitely an area to be watching.
Yes. The problem is the vaccine is not a secret formula, and it's going to take quite a few months until everything settles. Yeah, it doesn't mean that if they release the vaccine on the 1st of January, by 31st of January, everyone is cured and there's no more COVID.
No. And I understand at the moment it's only got an 80% effectiveness in terms of it can cover
90%. Wow, what's happening with the internet?
And that's going to take another year possibly to get fully right. And distribution of it, who gets priority, all of that. It's going to take more than just January to get it into the market.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Right, okay, so there's still hope. Let's be positive in a mind frame. Yeah, let's not be positive on paper this year. Let's just be positive in the mind frame.
Well, you have to be anyway. I mean, that's what makes it great. You know, there's always an option. There's always opportunity in a downturn. So, you know.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. Right, John Goddard, everyone. John, thank you ever so much for being with us today. We're going to speak again, hopefully next week, for more and more information about the markets when we have something bigger going on, something that gives us a sense of direction, let's say.
Yeah.
Until then,
absolutely, and we've got a few more things in the pipeline that we're working on, things for clients and customers. So we'll be happy to share those as well.
Exactly. Keep on doing what you're doing because you guys are doing a great job. Congrats once again for the stocks you've added on your MT5 platform, commission free, one risk-free trade. What else are you giving for free? You give a lot of things, guys. A lot of things for free.
We give excellent customer value and excellent customer service as well for free. That comes at the top of the agenda.
Awesome. Awesome. John, always a pleasure to speak to you. John Goddard, everyone, straight from Forex.
I'm losing
Executive Director. No, you're never losing me, John. I'll be with you
Thank
forever.
you, guys. Thanks for watching.
Thank you so much, John. Have a good one. Right, guys, John Goddard was with us today, Executive Director at Forex for another amazing market talks. There is a bit of positivity in the markets. We got some comments. Thank you, Mustafa. Thank you for the kind words. Nice. Thank you so much for the kind words. Now, what did I promise you earlier on, guys? The charts, some trading signals, and another interesting article about Joe Biden and Donald Trump. We're coming back live in 30 seconds with the charts. And there we are. We are back with the charts, guys. We're looking at crude oil futures, and we are exactly 24 minutes into the U.S. opening. Crude oil futures trading at 42.52 and still pushing higher as things stand right now on a 60-minute chart. Crude oil did not even have the power to come down and test the 50-moving average. We saw a bit of a correction. As I said this morning, there has to be a tiny correction somewhere. That was the correction, and now after the U.S. Open, we see a big green candlestick, pushing oil prices higher. Let's move on to, wait just a second. Let's have a quick look at, RSI, stochastic at the bottom of the chart are not giving us a clear indication yet. Let me change the time frame to a 4-hour chart. Right, on a 4-hour chart, we're looking at RSI stochastic in the overbought levels, way in the overbought levels. Still, a correction is expected, guys. We might see a tiny correction because the markets did not get the chance to correct it. And as we look at the charts right now, we see a gold cross 2 be formed between the 50 and the 200 moving average, which, as usual, indicates quite a bit of buying power on the markets. Let's move on to Euro US dollar, guys. Euro USD, half an hour into the US trading session, trading at 117.51 and pointing downwards. RSI stochastic pointing downwards as well. On a 1-hour chart, guys, we saw Euro trading just testing the 200 moving average this morning. It was trading there. Okay, and I told you it might go below. Wait for the markets to react. You might have enough material, let's say, for a good short position. And there we go. The short position happened with the Euro at 117.51 and pushing even lower. We had the ECB press conference today with Christine Lagarde. She said she was very dovish, very soft from what people saw. Let's see what's going to happen. Stimulus measures are the main concern for the European economies to try and recover. Moving on to the cable, guys. GBP USD on a 60-minute chart, currently trading at 132.09, pushing towards the 200 moving average on the downside. RSI stochastic pointing downwards. Again, we might see the pound testing the 200 moving average at 131.22 or somewhere in that region. Okay, but the first take profit level probably by short-term trading will be on the 131.91. Right, let's move on to USD JPY, guys. Let's see what happened with the US dollar. US dollar, after an amazing rally, the US dollar took a break to catch his breath. And as we look at it right now, it's still pushing higher, trading at 105.53 versus the Japanese yen. RSI stochastic up in the overbought levels, but still pointing upwards. The Aussie dollar took a beating today. It's moving, as we speak right now, it's moving below the 50 moving average, trading at 0.7271. Eyeing the 200 MA at 0.7223, somewhere in that region. RSI stochastic still pointing downwards. Potential for the downside for the Aussie dollar on a strong US dollar. USD CAD, guys, what did I tell you this morning? We might see the US dollar testing the 200 MA at 130.88. It's currently trading at 130.58, 30 points below the 200 moving average, above the 50 moving average. There is a bit of hope. There is a bit of hope on the US dollar that will strengthen again. Let's see what's going to happen from here. Now, the S&P 500, guys, the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones opened on a positive note today. We see the opening way higher than the previous trading session, trading at 3557.43 for the S&P 500. RSI stochastic pointing upwards. Still, there is a bit of room to go. We might see the tech sector getting a bit of a boost today. Maybe the markets will point towards the upside. Dow Jones Industrial Average, guys. We see a positive opening on the Dow Jones. Half an hour into the trading session, we see a red candlestick pointing downwards as this gap that I was telling you about, guys, has not been filled yet. All eyes now are on the 28,659.61, where the 50 moving average is. The markets might come down, fill in the gap, test the 50 moving average, and take it from there. Now, let's have a quick look at the US dollar index, currently trading at 93145 on top of the 200 moving average. It's settling higher. We see a gold cross to be formed by the 200 and the 50 moving average, indicating a bit of buying power on the markets. RSI stochastic up in the overbought levels, but who knows? We might see the dollar index pushing higher today. That can only mean one thing. If the dollar pushes higher, we're going to see gold trading even lower. Gold futures are currently trading at 1858.15. RSI stochastic still pointing downwards. We are at a crossroad as things stand right now. Gold is testing a support level, at 1857, 1858, somewhere there. If that level will be broken, look towards the left side. This is where the markets were before, at 1853, somewhere in that region. We're only 5 points away from that level. If that level will be broken, where to next? If we look at a 4-hour chart, guys, we're going to look towards the left, towards the previous high. The previous low, towards the downside. The previous low is at 1825. Okay. Will we see gold testing the 1800 level? This is the question. We're not a million miles away. We're only 58 points from the 1800 level. What's going to happen next? Only God knows. Moving on to light Brent oil futures. Brent oil futures currently trading strong at 44.69, and as I told you in the intro, guys, there you go. 45.25 was the highs for Brent oil futures today. $45.25. Currently trading slightly below at 44.70, well supported by the 50 and the 200 MA. We see a bit of discrepancy between indicators, both trading very high. On a 4-hour chart, again, we see a gold cross to be formed there, and we look at both indicators, the RSI and the stochastic, turning around, guys. So brace for that correction, because that correction might happen. The markets might pull back a bit, test the 50 moving average, and bounce from there. Now, your favorite, guys, and recently my favorite as well, the Bitcoin, the good almighty Bitcoin. Bitcoin is currently trading at $15,633.90, way higher than this morning. Well supported by the 50 moving average and the 200 moving average. They are well apart. A great potential for the upside for the Bitcoin. If the Bitcoin manages to go again up to 15,810, which is the previous high, and break that level, from there on, probably the 17,000 level is where traders will set their take profits. Why? Simple. That is the previous all-times high. There you go. Before the 20,000 mark. So keep an eye on 17,132, guys. We are only $1,400 away from that mark. Remember, Bitcoin can jump $2,000 in only a few hours. We might see Bitcoin trading at $17,000 by the end of this week. Let's see what's going to happen. Right, Ethereum, guys. Very important to have a look at the other cryptocurrencies as well. Ethereum, as you see, it's literally copying the movement of Bitcoin. It's currently trading at $461.50, slightly higher than yesterday, slightly higher than 2-3 days ago. Again, on an uptrend. Ethereum and Bitcoin, guys. Cryptocurrencies seem to be the way for the wealthy people. Right, and now, what did I promise you guys? Because I promised you more things. Funny article, yeah, I was telling you. Funny article regarding Joe Biden and Donald Trump. U.S. President-elect Joe Biden will further lay the groundwork for his new administration on Wednesday, yet today, as President Donald Trump pursues a flurry of long-shot lawsuits challenging the election results in an effort to cling the power. Trump has declined to concede, instead lodging unsupported charges for election fraud that have gained little traction. Judges so far have tossed out lawsuits in Michigan and Georgia brought by Trump's campaign, and legal experts say the litigation has little chance of changing the outcome of the election on November 3rd. Nearly 80% of Americans, including half of Republicans, say Biden is the rightful winner, according to Reuters poll released on Tuesday. Trump's refusal to accept defeat, even as world leaders congratulate Biden and look to their future relation, caps a tumultuous 4 years in office with the United States deeply polarized, ravaged by the coronavirus, and torn by racial diversion. But Trump supporters, who, as of the latest count, gave him more than 72 million votes compared to Biden's 77 million, have delighted in his combative style for shattering of norms. Trump has eschewed a public concession or the pledge of cooperation typically offered by outgoing presidents. Right, Trump promised, guys. Donald Trump promised. He said, I'm not going to leave the White House. Whatever happens, I'm going to win the elections. I will not leave the White House. There you go. Finally, he will have to leave the White House. He's still very hard, very, very hard. But if the entire country will turn around him, then probably he will leave the White House. Let's have a quick look at trading signals, guys. 2 more minutes and then I'll let you go. Trading signals. Half an hour, 35 minutes into the U.S. opening. NASDAQ 100, strong sell, strong sell, strong sell on 3 time frames and a buy on a daily. S&P 500, very, very undecided. We see a strong sell on a 5-minute chart, neutral on a 15 minutes and hourly, and the daily still remains a strong buy. Dow Jones, we see a neutral reaction on a 5-minute chart, but the 15 minutes, the hourly, and the daily remain a strong buy. NASDAQ, strong sell on the first 3 time frames, but the daily still remains a strong buy. Apparently, the markets will be pulling back today, guys. Even though we saw a positive market opening, they're going to pull back and try and close the gaps from what we see here. Right, let's have a quick look at commodities, guys. Maybe we get a clear indication on commodities. Let's have a quick look. Gold and silver, guys. There we go. Gold, strong sell on all 4 time frames for gold. 5 minutes, 15 minutes, hourly and daily, strong sell. Silver, sell, strong sell and sell, 15 minutes, hourly and daily. Usually they move together. Copper, strong sell on the first 3 time frames. The daily still remains a buy. It hasn't turned around yet. Mixed signals, guys. Very mixed signals. Half an hour into the U.S. market opening. We should get a clear indication by now. Let's have a quick look at Forex, guys. Currency pairs. Maybe they give us something to trade on. A bit of clarity in all these trading signals. Euro USD, strong sell on 3 time frames. GBP USD, just like the Euro USD, strong sell on 3 time frames. USD JPY and USD CHF, strong buy on all 4 time frames. All right, we're getting a bit of sense of direction from here. So the US dollar is meant to strengthen, at least according to investing.com, against the Japanese yen and the CHF. And the euro and the pound are meant to weaken, at least for now, against the US dollar. Right, USD CAD, strong buy. Wow, the dollar is actually strengthening against all its other peers from what we see here. This is it, guys. This is what is happening today. We had the great pleasure of having John Goddard with us again today for the first time under a new U.S. president. A very good market talk. I really enjoy talking to John. Now, tomorrow, guys, what's going on tomorrow? We have another guest. Who's the guest for tomorrow? The guest for tomorrow is, guys, Mark Wilson. There we go. There we go. Mark Wilson, guys, tomorrow at 4:30, U.S. markets opening. Neil Wilson, chief market analyst at markets.com. Guys, I have a very long day today. I started the day happy. I'm ending the day happy, but I'm making tiny mistakes here and there. I hope you can forgive me and you don't notice them. Right. Join me tomorrow, guys, tomorrow morning for another round of European markets opening. Let's see what happens overnight. And tomorrow afternoon, guys, Neil Wilson, chief market analyst at markets.com for the US trading session. This was it from my side today, guys. Remember to trade responsibly and may all your trades be in the money. Andrew the Chart Whisperer, over and out.